Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Crystal Barrett's Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. And off the board means that we just took something off of Pinterest that we already had pinned there. And this is the layout that I'm using today, and it's by P. Pilgrim. And it actually came from Scrapbook.com, and it is 49 and Market's Ruse. Um, Ultimate Page Kit. That's what it is. However, she didn't do her layout quite like the Ultimate Page Kit's example was. She added some real lace, and she used a frame that was 49 in Market, but she painted it with acrylic paint and a few other things. And so I'm showing the original there, and you probably have to look close to see the difference. Like the buttons are different in different places, and I'm not sure what else, but I thought when I bought this kit, I wasn't planning on doing mine just like it, but uh, I'm not going to do it exactly like hers either. I didn't paint no frame. I just used 2 layers behind my photo of some of the rouge kit. I can't remember what pieces I used, but yeah, I used red to, well, the I was looking at this and I thought, do I really want to use red when the truck in the photo is red? And then I thought, well, Luke and Melody have dark clothes on and they show up pretty good against that red. And they'll show up pretty good against the other red that's in the layout. Well, red, pink, and some green. There are layers behind the photo. I'm not sure which ones they are. I just took a scrap. That plaid one right there is from behind the photo. However, the diagonal stripe is just because I couldn't resist it. And I cut the back one a little bit wonky and inked it in barn red from close to my heart. And then I inked the other one too. I started around the corners on the other one, but I saw they were already rounded. I'm thinking maybe an eighth. I was going to round it a quarter, but I went ahead and left it as an eighth. This strip here at the bottom, it is actually the strip off the top and uh, of this page right here, and it don't fit. I tried a few times and I couldn't stretch it far enough. It just didn't fit. And I'm thinking, how in the world? But I just inked the edge so it wouldn't show up so badly and left it. My paper would definitely trim that sliver of white off of there, but I thought inking would work. Who's going to notice it at the bottom of the page anyway? At the top or in the middle even, I'd probably trim it. I used Love This, and that's a die. It was from a Maggie Holmes die set that came with one of her collections years ago. And there was like 8 pieces, well, 8 dies in there. But other than the deer head, I don't remember what the other ones were. I had them separated long before I started doing videos, and I just don't know. But I know it is discontinued. I've had people look for it, and I've looked for it, but yeah, I think it's discontinued. Um, I thought about doing the lace all the way across, but since I had those black letters there, I decided I would just do part of it right there towards the middle. And I did cut out the dies, Love This, twice, and I layered them so the black is on the bottom. And then I thought I'd add that little chipboard, and it's just XOXO. And this photo here, it is of my daughter and son-in-law, and they were out on a weekend getaway thing, and they stopped to buy some snacks for the hotel room, and they're holding them. They didn't even try to hide them. They're holding them for the photo, but I thought that was cute. And so my title is Love This, Enjoy the Little Things. And it's not much, but they had enjoyed getting in there and taking a picture with that truck. Now, uh, the truck may not be a full truck. It looks kind of like it's got a seat in the back instead of the bed in the back, but I'm not sure. I hadn't asked her about it. But I thought I'd go ahead and scrap it and put it in her album for her. Uh, I'm putting foam tape behind some of my greenery, but not all of it. I picked two pieces that were alike for the background leaves, and then the other two are similar but not quite alike, and I'm adding them. And then all the flowers seem so big, so I dug really deep in that big envelope of flowers and leaves, and I found some that were fussy cut out, and they're the ones I'm going to use on the layout because they're smaller. And I put that one on there, and I think I get ready to put the next one on there, or maybe the one after that. I'm not sure. And I decided I wanted some more dimension because they looked really flat. Sometimes the flowers don't bother me looking flat, but sometimes they do. And that's part of the reason I use a lot of dyes for flowers. But there were so many in this collection, I thought, well, if I don't use them, I'm going to have them left at the end. So I will be pulling out my uh, well, they're stylists. I do know they're that, but then they've got several sizes. And the first one I pull out, the only reason I pulled it out first was because I didn't think I could find one of the others. I've got a bunch of stuff in a cup, and I moved everything around, still couldn't see it, and took the smaller one and decided that is not going to work. So you will see me put it back and get the bigger one because I did keep looking until I found it. But I cut out all that time I was out of the camera sight, so you wouldn't have to sit there and look at my layout that long. I was sure, I was absolutely sure by now that I would be pulling out the stylus and using it on my flowers by now, but apparently not. I spoke too soon. Oh, no, I'm getting another flower. But yeah, I'm going to pull it out. I really, honest, I didn't cut that part out. I am going to, oh, there it is. And see, that stylus is just a little too little, so I switched it out for the big one. Well, not the biggest, the smallest of the biggest, and used it. And yes, I found them, but they're a little shorter, I think what the problem was, and they were dropping down in the cup. Uh, I am putting foam tape underneath them, although they're kind of cupped upward. And I just putting them back on the page. And I do stand my albums up when I put them on the shelf. And so stuff like that does not get mashed very quickly anyway. So far, so good. But yeah, the 3-ring binders, they hold their shape a lot better than if you're using a post bound and if you're stacking them too. I am filling in this corner up here. It does have a flower already, but I wanted it to be more dimensional. So I'm adding 2 little flowers together there, and I did use a stylus on them. And I think a little bit more greenery. Yeah, that part sticking out is a little bit more. Um, I thought about using the pink butterflies, but there is so much pink and red on here already that I decided to use the green ones instead. And I put the largest one down at the bottom, and then they got smaller going towards the top because if you're looking off in the distance, the small ones look farther away in a picture or even in your yard. I mean, if they're farther away, they look smaller. So that's why they are getting smaller there. I pulled out my Mr. Lindy's bookworm, and no, Mr. Huey, that's it. I'm thinking Lindy's, Mr. Huey's bookworm. I don't even know if they're in business still, but that is my favorite, and it is getting so empty. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use it much longer. If anybody knows if the mowed lawn distress is the spray bottle of it is similar to this color, let me know. After I sprinkled all this, I remembered, well, I didn't remember on my own. I happened to look over in the tray and seen the little pine branches that I had punched out from the Martha Stewart punch. And so I had to let everything dry and then come back and tuck them in around the page. And I just used a scrap piece of paper that was kind of a beigeish / greenish woven look is what it looked like. but it is a very old scrap. I mean, I probably had it 20 years, but it worked for this and gave me another color to put in with my greenery. But that's it. That's my layout, and I had fun doing it. And I really liked Pete Pilgrim's layout there. And she said she didn't take full credit for her layout because it was from the Ultimate Kit, but she did add a few of her own design and also pieces too. They might have been the extras from the Ultimate Kit. I am not sure. But I know the frame wasn't. I think they're stitched for real because it looks really dimensional on there, and she painted over everything to make it match what was already in the collection. But make sure you look down there below and check out Crystal's master playlist and see what everybody else has pulled off of their Pinterest board and created with. But don't that pine branch look good with that? And it being, well, it is woven, but it's tiny woven little pattern. And so it looked pretty good with that punch. I always punch one out if I use a pattern paper and then decide if I like it and if it's going to go with my layout. But thank y'all so much for joining me while I created it. And make sure you check out the link down there below. Have a happy scrappy week. Bye.